Hello, ladies and gentlemen, back again. We are back with more post-match show. Following the international break, we have just beaten Wolves 3-2. We are now into fourth place with 8 matches remaining. As always, I am joined by my co-host, Irish Tommy. Mate, welcome back. How are you feeling?
Relieved and happy. It was it got a bit hairy there for a while, second half. We were all thinking it.
Yeah,
After the Arsenal game, we're all thinking, "Oh no, don't do this again, please."
I, I
But
was I was screaming at my TV that if they bottled it again, that they all deserve to be sacked in the morning.
oh, stop. Thankfully, look, we got over the line. So, yeah, very relieved. But I think given that obviously going into this game, there was only 9 games left. I think the important thing right now is it's all about the results. It's nice if the performance is great and enjoyable as well. Like the first half was today. The first half was just superb. But the important thing at the end of the day is get the win, get over the line, get the 3 points in the bag, and move on to the next one. So yeah, very relieved. Like I say, it was tough going there for a while that second half. But listen, the points are in the bag, and like you say, we're up to fourth place on merit now. There's nobody behind us that can jump ahead of us with games in hand. So that's a huge one too. So as Martin says there, look, just 8 more cup finals. Tonight was like a cup final, and we won it. So that's all we can do. As long as the result is right at the end of the 90 plus minutes, don't care about anything else after that.
Yeah. Well, we will get into the ramifications with this match too, with Antonio's potential injury. If there's been any news on that, hopefully it was just a cramp with regards to Lingard at the end there. Obviously, those are two massive, massive moments. But listen, we just have to relish this moment right now.
Yeah, it was just to say Lingard did an interview after the game, so it was cramp. If
Okay,
if that
good.
was if that was a hamstring issue, he'd have been in with the medics and
Yeah.
wouldn't have been doing interviews. He just cramped up towards the end of the game. He did an
Okay, good.
unbelievable amount of running tonight.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he's okay. But obviously, as you say, just waiting now on Antonio just to see what's going on with him. Another bloody Antonio injury.
It just goes to show you yet again that we need strikers this upcoming window. 100%.
Yeah, another thing actually I think is really important is that Bowen played quite well and
Yes.
scored because he's going to be the number 9 almost certainly against Leicester, I would think, for
Yes.
us up front. So the fact that he scored tonight, would be great for his confidence going into the run in. We don't know. Like for all we know, he may have to be our number 9 for the remainder of the season. So, it's good to have him scoring tonight from that
Yeah.
position. So his confidence will be sky high, and he's a very good player and a really good finisher. He's actually a much better finisher than Antonio. So hopefully that will stand to us in these final few games. It'll probably be good news for Ben Rama as well.
Yeah, gets more time in the.
Yeah, he's not going to be competing with Bowen for a midfield slot now.
Okay,
So,
good. Antonio felt his hamstring, but not bad. It didn't look like when he was coming off the pitch. It didn't look like he was. He's obviously unassisted, and it didn't look like he had anything of a limp. So hopefully, it is precautionary substitute.
Yeah. Hopefully, he just felt a little tweak, and they just said, "Right, get him off, get him out of there."
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see. I'm sure we'll know more tomorrow. It's possible he'd be available for Leicester, but failing that, he'd almost likely be available for the following game. But we'll see. But like I say, Bowen can stand in and hopefully do a job for us there. But I have to say, obviously, it's a post-game show. We need to talk about the game, but I just want to say, like that first half was just absolutely superb. Obviously, aside from conceding late in the first half, which was disappointing, but outside of that, I mean, the first half was absolutely tremendous from the guys. I mean, there was just some great stuff.
Yeah, you're good, Mark. We're just getting started here. But yeah, it is incredible with regards to West Ham how much of a different team we are. in regards to each half. Like the first half, it seems like the last few games were Barcelona, and then in the second half we're a relegation candidate. It makes no sense, but as long as we're getting wins, I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah, we've got to address that issue. Obviously,
And one thing I think that will help with that is the likes of someone like Ogbonna coming back. Suppose I had seen on Twitter X had said that he's not far off from a return, so that would be great news for our squad.
yeah. The sooner we get Obama back, the better. He's our rock in defence. You can see Dawson does not trust Diop,
No,
um, and he makes Diop makes everybody shaky. And he was Diop. I personally against Leicester, I'd rather see Balbuena start than Diop. Diop is just shaky right now. I just don't know if I
I'm
trust
very
him.
much with you.
I think Balbuena and Dawson would be better together. I think they would trust each other more. Balbuena is really solid back there. Um, I think that might be a better partnership until we get Oggy back on the pitch. Um, but yeah, that first half, I have to say, was absolutely brilliant. That goal from Lingard, I mean, just wow. I mean, what a goal.
That just shows the quality he has. Like that singular goal shows just what he brings to the table.
Yeah, I mean, he's just mustard, isn't he? He's just different class. I mean,
Yeah. So
when people talk about levels, what we're seeing since Lingard signed for us in January is what they're talking about when they talk about levels. There are good players and there are great players, and Lingard's a great player. You can just see he's operating in a different sphere. It's the things he does with the ball. I mean, that first goal just illustrated it. I mean, and then not even just the goal. I mean, as amazing as it was, I mean, what he did out on the dead ball line, the way he skinned the Wolves player with that touch that allowed Masuaku in to give the assist for Fornals. I mean, he's like defenders are terrified of him. They just don't want to put a foot in. They're afraid to put a foot in because he'll just nick the ball away and they'll bring him down, and they'll give away a free kick or a penalty. And he forces players to just back off, back off, back off, because they're afraid that if I stick the foot in here, I'm either going to foul him or he's just going to skip past me like I'm not there. And so he creates just a huge amount of uncertainty in the minds of defenders about they just don't really know how to deal with him. Um, and he's quick. He runs with the ball at his feet so quickly, and his close control is so good. The ball is never away from him. It's always right by his feet, and he's just a brilliant player. And that first goal, I mean, that's obviously I'm trying to rack my brains here, but that could end up being kind of solo goal of the season.
yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
you saw it there. Do you remember in that first half as well? Another run he made where he got the ball, where he slipped the ball through for Bowen to score. Well, there must have been 4 Wolves players around converging on him when he won the ball, and not one of them could touch him. They just couldn't get a foot on the ball. They just couldn't put a foot in, couldn't do anything with him, and they were really close to him, and they couldn't get the ball.
I will say the only bad thing with regards to Lingard performing as well as he is, it just means that the club is going to have to pay more and more for him. Like with each performance like this, his price tag is going up. I had seen a report on Twitter this week that West Ham wanted to insert a 15 million buy-on clause into the loan agreement, and United actually turned it down because they had said once he gets playing again, he'll show his quality, and we know we can get more than that 15 million from him.
Yeah, well, look, fair enough. It's hard to argue with them, really, isn't it? It's
Oh,
you know.
absolutely.
Um, but look, to be honest, Chris, I'll worry about that at the end of the season.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm not. To be honest, I'm not too focused on that right now. We've got games coming now, thick and fast to the end of the season. So, we've got to just cherish Jesse right now. We don't know if he'll be a West Ham player next season. I think he will be. I think we'll get a deal done. But to be honest, I'll worry about that at the end of the season. Right now, he's playing for West Ham. He's going to be here for these final 8 games for us. Um, and like I said to you, or before in one of the previous shows, he's a game changer.
Yeah.
He's the kind of player that can get you across the line. Whereas without Lingard, hand on heart, where would we be right now? We'd be struggling to get into a Europa League spot.
Yeah.
But with Lingard, he is so good that he could actually catapult us into a fucking Champions League spot. Which is it's insane. I'm sitting here 30 games gone actually saying this. Sometimes I have to
We
kind of pinch
actually have a
myself.
legitimate possibility.
As a West Ham fan, to be sitting here after 30 games, hand on heart, talking about us potentially finishing in a Champions League spot and not being deluded about it. We really could. Like I say, they're on merit now in fourth place. There are no teams behind us that can jump us with games in hand. It's our spot keep if we can. And with 8 games to go, I think any fan of any other team would have to put their hand on their heart and say, yes, you have to say right now, West Ham are absolutely in the hunt for a Champions League spot. And the great thing is unlike previous years, where if you finished outside the top 2, you were into the qualifier. You had one qualifier to play before you went into the group stage of Champions League. All 4 Premier League teams now go straight to the group stages. So there's no qualifier. We go straight to the Champions League group stages. Like if we finish in 4th, can you imagine we're all sitting down watching the Champions League fucking draw, and we're there? I mean, it's just the stuff dreams are made of. And
I don't think that going into the season, I don't think that there was any sort of thought of that, because it was so far out of the realm of possibility. Like I think West Ham fans collectively thought we'd be lucky to stay up. Now this is just madness.
Yeah, from previous shows that we've done, Chris, where I was still saying, look, it's great being up here and it's a lot of fun and we're enjoying it, but realistically, the real hope is that we can nick a Europa League spot. I think after tonight's win and jumping back into 4th, where nobody can overtake us with games in hand, that is our spot right now. I think this is the first time, Chris, where I'm allowing myself to say, you know what? This is actually on. Like, we could actually do almost the unthinkable here and finish 4th. Because, listen, Chelsea were turned over at home 5-2 by West Brom. Tottenham again the other day. Listen, all of the teams below us are dropping points. Everton again tonight, they were 1-0 up at home to Palace and fluffed their lines again. We're 5 points, is it now, clear of Everton? So it's not like any of the teams behind us are in scorching form where you think they'll inevitably overtake us and pull away. They're dropping enough points.
This is any team's game right now.
Yeah, it really is. That 4th, even 3rd spot is up for grabs.
Yeah,
Leicester.
We were talking about this before the show.
Leicester are more than capable of dropping a number of points between now and the end of the season. So, Leicester will come under pressure very soon as well, I think. So, I think there's 2 spots up for grabs. Like I say, we're only 4 points off Leicester now, and we play them at home at the weekend. So, if we beat Leicester at home on the weekend, I mean, it's fucking game on, big time game on.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm looking at this. Man United realistically is probably out of our reach regardless. But I mean, yeah, we could be battling. If we win, we're 2 points behind the 3rd place team. 2 points.
Yeah.
And as you and I were talking about beforehand too, it makes that Arsenal match that more frustrating, because had we won that match and we beat Leicester this weekend, we're in 3rd place. 31 games gone.
Yeah, look, that's the vagaries of the Premier League. These things, it will ebb and flow like that. You'll have some games like that. But like I said to you before, Chris, look, there will be other games we can point to where we were outplayed and we weren't very good and we nicked it 1-0, and got the 3 points where we maybe didn't deserve them. There's been a few of those games. So
this is probably the best quote. This is of biblical proportions our season so far.
Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful, I have to say. And look, even if we don't manage it, if we don't kind of fulfill the dream in the end, it will have been a just thoroughly enjoyable season.
Yeah,
Absolutely
absolutely.
thoroughly enjoyable. I mean, this is wonderful, Chris. You think back to this time last season. We were all, with good reason, terrified that we were going to go down. We were before the COVID stuff started, and we were in the lockdown at this time last year, and we
Yeah.
were in a very, very precarious position before the Premier League restarted, and we were genuinely worried that we were going to be a championship team this season. So
We might be getting
you
into
know,
Champions League now.
and now we're 30 games, Chris. 30. We're in fourth, and we're on the cusp of potentially doing something really unthinkable. Given where we were last season, I mean, this turnaround is incredible. So it's really exciting, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Well, you and I were talking about this before as well. The key matchup, the key match, the remainder of the season is April 24th. Us Chelsea. That very well could decide Champions League.
Possibly depending on what position both teams are in at the time.
Sure.
We've got other games between now and then, and we need to kind of obviously look the game this weekend. Even Chris, it's massive. It's absolutely massive. So I think if we can win Saturday, is it Saturday? Is Saturday
Sunday.
play? Sunday? Excuse me. If we can win on Sunday, then I think we should all be thinking it's really, really on. It's really, really on. That's a 6-pointer against Leicester. If we beat them and go to within a point of them, then depending on other results, I mean, imagine if Chelsea don't win and we do, and we pull up to within a point of Leicester, and we pull three, 2 or 3 more points clear of Chelsea. It puts massive pressure on Leicester and Chelsea. Massive pressure, and keeps us on the front foot. Now, obviously, look, it'll be a very difficult game against Leicester, and it might go against us. They're a good side. They're in third for a reason. But if we can somehow nick that game, do the double over Leicester, wow.
Yeah.
What's that?
Kurt Cresswell. I thought Masuaku coming back to his first match, I thought he was brilliant. Very well played. Well done.
Yeah, he looked like someone who missed it and who was just delighted to be back
And
out
you know
there.
what, too? We have to get, as much as we've criticized him this season, Noble played very well.
Noble did well. Yeah, he had a decent game. I still wouldn't start him against Leicester at home. I think although I know it's 6 days, but I don't think he can play every game. He did all right tonight, but I think that system. If we're going to play Noble, I think we have to play him in the wing back system, so he can concentrate on just defending the center of the pitch. He like in a flat back four, say if he's alongside Soucek, for example, he's going to have to cover out to the sides. But with the wing backs there, they basically do that job, so he can stay central, and he doesn't get stretched, he doesn't get run ragged left and right all over the pitch, and so he can stay in the middle and just shore things up there and keep things tight there. So I think the formation definitely helped Noble tonight.
Yeah. I want to go back to really quickly because I had one thought with regards to where we're at right now too. 30 matches in. I know it's a lesser degree, but this must have been how this must be kind of how Leicester fans felt when they were in the season that they won the title, where it was throughout the season, they'll drop, they're going to drop, and with less than 10, okay, they could actually do this. And that's exactly how I feel right now.
Everyone was just waiting to see when the wheels were going to come off. And I'm sure there were Leicester fans.
Exactly, yeah.
Before every game, fearing, is this the week the wheels start coming off? Is this where we start losing games?
This is not Leicester.
Yeah, is this where we lose 3 games on the bounce and ruin it? And it's kind of like that for us right now. We were all thinking that going into tonight's game away to Wolves, even though they're an average side, they're not in great form. We were all thinking, is this where we, get beat and don't take advantage, and it all just kind of falls apart a little bit, and we end up getting overtaken by Liverpool and Tottenham and Everton and all these teams. So every week we have that fear, and we'll have it again going into the Leicester game Sunday. We'll have that fear again. Is this the game, where Leicester come and thump us 4-0 and it all kind of falls apart a bit? And so that's the fear every week. It won't be any different next Sunday. But we keep on chugging.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we're still in there. We're in 4th place after 30 games, which is ridiculous. But here we are. And this is a much nicer adventure than last season's one.
I wholeheartedly agree. Wholeheartedly agree. Like I get for the first time in a long time, like I'm like angry that we're like when we're conceding because we should be winning matches, things like that. Like I was fuming during the Arsenal match. If we got a 3-3 draw last year against Arsenal, I would have been over the moon.
Yeah. Well, I think the fact we were 3-0 up doesn't help.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm saying the result in general.
Yeah, but the confidence in the team is incredible. I mean, it's just sky high. They just really believe in each other and they believe in themselves. Because they go home and they sit down. They've got another win, which feels great when you're a player. These are players who are not losing games. They lose a game here and there, but not many. They're not used to being beaten that much. They're used to going and beating teams. So they'll have known they should have beat Arsenal.
Yeah.
And they went to Wolves tonight and got the win. Right, they had to hang on a little bit in the end, but a win is a win, and it gives confidence. And so, they all go home tonight and they have a look at the Premier League table and they see we're in 4th with 30 games played, and those players feel like bring on Leicester. The players, West Ham players right now thinking, bring on Leicester. We're at home. Massive game for us. We're going to take on Leicester and go at them and go and beat them and pick up another 3 points and get another huge win. They're not afraid of anybody.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at David Moyes' press conference. So apparently Souček has a cut in the ankle.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
Yeah, so we should be good on with him. I love this though.
Souček would play with an arm missing.
Yeah, so would Soufal. Soufal literally said that as well.
Yeah.
After 30 games, this is not a fluke.
No.
And it's absolutely right.
No, of course not. And I don't think there's any fan of any team anywhere that would try to make that argument at this point. 30 games in, I mean, the table doesn't lie 30 games in. I know, 8-10 games in the table sometimes can look a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But with 30 games gone, you're seeing reality. You're seeing what you're seeing is real, and West Ham are real right now. And I think every fan of every other team would take us very, very seriously now. I don't think any Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, Leicester fans are scoffing at West Ham, saying, West Ham finishing in Champions League spot, who do they think they are? They know that we are for real and that they are in a dogfight with us.
Yeah.
For a Champions League spot. And they will be, I'm convinced now, that they will be in that dogfight with us till the end of the season.
Yeah.
I've seen no evidence over 30 games that we are a team that the wheels will fall off. That we'll just collapse and lose 4 in a row. I just don't see that happening. We all fear it, of course, because we so desperately want this to happen, but we're not that team. We're just not. We're not going to go on a terrible run of form. We're going to compete in every game. And Leicester are going to be in a game next Sunday. Make no mistake about that. We will give Leicester all they can handle next Sunday. And I'm sure Leicester know that too. And Leicester, I'm sure, will give us plenty to think about. They're very good side. Yeah, that'll be I think that's going to be a cracking game,
Yeah. Oh, I think it's going to be really good. What we also have to point out too is that West Ham, with being in fourth, are the best team in London.
Was there ever any doubt? London is
We're
claret and blue.
absolutely massive.
We have the bragging rights. We are massive. Yeah,
Uh,
we're the,
no, Father Snowman, solely just because he hasn't been here the whole season.
no. I don't think he's been. No, I don't think he's been here long enough. No, I don't think so. I have a sneaking suspicion Socek. I think Socek's going to win it.
I could very well see that. I think it's tight right now between Socek and Rice.
Yeah, but I think with Rice missing a few games now towards the end of the season.
Yeah, honorary mentions will be Ogbonna and Sufal by far.
Yeah, I think. Well, see again, Ogbonna's missed some games now as well, but I actually think Socek's a shoe-in for Hammer of the Year. If I'm honest, I don't see any. I can't see.
I'd say betting favorites. I wouldn't say Surin, but
Socek will win it. But actually, talking about Ogbonna, it's going to be massive to get him back. The sooner we get him back in there, the better.
yeah.
If we can get Ogbonna back in for the run-in, that would be huge.
What about Dawson? No, still not enough time. He didn't make his debut until December.
Dawson for Hammer of the Year?
No.
Oh no. He's not even in the running.
He's been outstanding, but he's
been excellent, but he's not in the running for it.
Fornals has been outstanding, yes.
Yes, he has. Not in the running for Hammer of the Year, but I mean that finish tonight was absolutely brilliant.
This is good to hear.
Yeah, Augie's back in full training, so I would hope he'd be on the bench against Leicester. So we'll see. But if he's back in full training, then
that is true. Dawson is now a full-fledged West Ham member. We hit the clause that triggers the automatic buy. So
yes,
Craig Dawson is a permanent player for us now.
Yeah, we have to sign him now, which is fine, obviously.
Oh yeah, I'm more than happy with that.
Yeah, I think Dawson with Augie in the centre, they're fantastic. So yeah, great to see Augie back in full training. Having him back now is massive. I don't like he won't start against Leicester. I wouldn't think.
Probably not. I would hope. Like if I would think that if we had some sort of lead late, like at the 60-minute mark, I could see him coming in just so that way he can get that kind of run out as well as it's Ogbonna. But
it just depends on his match fitness.
Yeah,
I'm not sure where he's at with his fitness levels. But look, he could come in against Leicester. I'd have no problem with it if Moyes, the coaching staff feel like he's basically fit. Then that's fine. Bring him in. But it'll be wonderful to have him back. I mean, he's one of the best centre backs in Europe. I don't care what anyone says.
No, you're right.
He's one of the best centre backs in Europe. Just because he plays for West Ham doesn't mean that's a ridiculous statement. He's absolutely brilliant. And he's in the Italy squad for a reason. So having Augie back will be huge. And Dawson obviously plays a lot better beside him than he does alongside. Like Dawson was digging out Diop a couple of times in that game tonight for his positioning.
Yeah.
So I don't think Dawson's particularly enjoying playing alongside Diop.
One other thing I did want to bring up too, with regards to like Dawson and everything like that. This is the first match that I can remember for a while where all of our goals were scored by players that should be scoring, or forwards, or everything like that. We haven't had to rely on like Craig Dawson and them. So good to finally see some quality attack.
Yeah, it is, and again, it's just Lingard. Lingard just changes everything. He's just got so much quality. He brings all the players around him into it. I mean, he drags defenders all over the place and creates spaces for others. And you saw the assist for Bowen as well tonight.
Yeah.
So, and he had played such a pivotal role in Fornell's goal, even though Masuaku got the assist. But I mean, that little flick on the dead ball line just to skin the defender. I mean, and place the ball into Masuaku's path. I mean, just
shows his quality. Like
the guy, he's just playing with. His confidence is just through the roof, Lingard. And when you have that much ability, and your confidence is through the roof, That's when you see the bag. That's when you see the kind of the swag.
Yeah,
That's when you see the bag of he dips into his bag of tricks.
it's almost
You know,
true that that he didn't win Player of the Month last month.
yeah, that was a disgrace. But
Uh,
look,
Rama,
that's voted for by fans, so obviously, the likes of Man United, Liverpool have so
yeah,
many bloody fans all over the place that they tend to just outvote everyone else. But
I agree with this. Yeah, the way that the run by Antonio for Lingard's goal, yeah, perfectly.
yeah,
Like,
Antonio made a great run in between the centre back and full back on the right hand side, and no, he was looking for the pass. Obviously, he was making that run in between for Jesse to slip the ball through. But what it did was it dragged two defenders with him, which allowed Lingard to cut inside on the left. And that finish on his left foot was just sublime.
yeah,
It just lifted it over the keeper and just as cool as a cucumber, isn't he, in front of goal? And you just see the confidence in him. There was just no doubt in his mind he was going to just slot it past the keeper. He just did it with such confidence, with such swag. I mean, this is. I've been trying to think of January signings that have made massive impacts for us. Obviously, Socek last year when we brought him in
Owen.
initially on loan. Bowen came in, had a massive impact. But I'm thinking back. I'm going to go way back, Chris, before your time. Back to the kind of mid-90s, where under Harry Redknapp, where we were really struggling, like really, really struggling. We were in desperate danger of being relegated. We were struggling for goals. We couldn't score goals. In the January transfer window, Harry Redknapp brought Paul Kitson down from Newcastle and brought John Hartson from Arsenal. Neither of them could get into their sides, but he paid good money at that time for both. And then he put Kitson and Hartson up top together, and they were just sensational. Absolutely sensational. They were just scoring goals all around them, particularly Hartson. Hartson was unstoppable. And it just completely true. We ended up finishing like 14th, I think, and we're in absolutely no danger of relegation. But in the last kind of 3 games, we were comfortable.
Speaking of that too, if I'm looking at it correctly, I do believe we are like if we were to lose everything out from here on out, we're mathematically safe. So happy days on that.
Oh yeah, obviously we've long since stopped worrying
No,
about
yeah.
relegation.
I mean, it's a moment to be celebrated after last season. So
yeah, hitting that 40 points was like, okay, yeah, happy days. That's that part out the way. We don't even have to think about that. It was all. But to be fair, I think the players for a long, long time now have been looking up, not down. We've been looking up, thinking, okay, a win's going to jump us 3 places up to fifth or up to fourth or whatever it was. So the players have been looking up, which is good for the players. It's good for their confidence, that they're always looking up, saying, okay, if we can win this weekend, we're back in 6th or 5th or 4th or whatever it was. And they're doing it. They're getting the job done. So confidence sky high. And I guarantee you those players know in their heart and souls that they are good enough to finish in the top 4. They have to, if after 30 games you're in 4th, you have to be at the point where you really believe that you can do it.
Right now, at the pace we are going, is predicted that we'll end on 64 points. Which, I mean, that's what 12 out of the next. Really, that's kind of, I don't agree with that. 12 points out of the last 24. I don't agree.
Yeah, I think we'll do a bit better than that.
I don't think we'll hit. I'd be shocked if we hit 70, but I think we're going to be in the 67, 68 range or so.
Yeah, well, hopefully, we're gonna. I think we're going to be right in the mix for that 4th spot. And I don't get too hung up about looking at the points because teams around us are dropping points anyway. So, even if, let's say, next Sunday we were to draw 1-1 at home to Leicester, that's okay. That's an acceptable result.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just don't lose it. So if we can hold them to a point, that would be okay. No matter what other results go on, it keeps us right there, bang on in the mix.
Yep.
So,
points is the key. Any point.
Pick up points. Keep picking up points. That's it. And some of them inevitably will be wins. It's inevitable. Some of them will be wins.
I like this. We control our own destiny. Absolutely. I love being in that position where it's all up to
Yeah,
us, where we don't have to worry about what others do. Like
yeah. It's
when
nice.
we're
Like I said earlier, we no one can overtake us because they have games in hand.
we have like you said, we have it on
Which
merit.
seemed to be the situation for ages this season. We seem
Yeah,
to always be looking at teams behind us saying, no, particularly Everton, and I think at one point, I don't know if it might have been Villa or Everton had 4 games in hand on us or something.
it was Villa.
Uh,
I remember that. It was like,
And Everton had 3 games in hand on us, and
yeah,
I'm like, Jesus. But they just didn't get the wins. Everton did it again earlier. 1-0 up at home to Palace and couldn't get it done. That's why you have to have a lot of confidence. Chelsea spanked 5-2 at home by fucking West Brom.
yeah,
Okay, granted that a man sent off, but still, that's a really horrible reversal. So look, none of these teams that are in and around us are setting the world on fire.
yeah.
So they're
You're in
dropping points, they're losing games.
but I do not. I think personally, I think Liverpool is going to be focusing more on Champions League, like this season. I think they're going to be focusing more on that than they are the Premier League.
I can understand why Kieran thinks that because
I
you
can't.
look at it. I think because they're Liverpool, they had an unbelievable season last year, and they are still hovering in and around there. They haven't gone away, even though they're having a very poor season by their standards. But I can understand why you would look down the table. Chelsea, you wouldn't worry about too much because they are capable of dropping points, but they're in the mix with us. Tottenham just drop points all the time. Everton drop points all the time. The one team you look at down there is Liverpool because you know they are a team capable of going and winning 5 in a row. They are capable of it, and that is. I agree with Kieran in the sense that that's the team I really worry about.
Yeah,
Is Liverpool because they have such good players and they could go and win 5 games on the bounce, and then all of a sudden they're fucking 5 points ahead of us, and you're like, fuck, you know. But so I do worry about it.
yeah, absolutely. I can understand that too, but I
But
just don't.
I wouldn't, go as far as
They
we
have.
went there and say that will happen. It might not.
We're level with them. They're the ones who have to make up the ground. They're the ones who are under the cuff, under the pressure right now. We aren't necessarily because we like Mark, I think it was Mark who said it. Yeah, Mark. We control our own destiny.
Yeah,
It's tough.
exactly. Yeah, we don't have to look back the table. We literally just have to look forward at the next fixture and
Yep.
say, right, on to the next. We're home to Leicester Sunday. Let's go out, put in a performance. Let's see if we can get 3 points there. Keep the show on the road. That's all we have to think about right now.
Yeah.
And because we know if we can go out and win, we're in fourth. End of story. And there's nothing whatsoever any other team can do about it.
You
As
know,
long as we can go out and get the win that we need.
one thing I did want to look at too, I meant to look at earlier. Leicester City. Oh, jeez. The last 4 matches of the season, or 3 matches of the season for them, are away to United, away to Chelsea, home to Tottenham.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So,
See, like that's
who knows? Third place might be in play.
if we beat Leicester Sunday, it's in play.
That's
If we beat them, we're a point off third.
I'm just,
So, I mean, you can't overestimate how huge the game is next Sunday.
the question is, let me look here. Does Leicester have any injuries? I'm not seeing anything, any sort of news. Does anyone in the chat know if there's any like significant injuries to Leicester, or are they a full squad right now?
No, Leicester are missing some key players. I'd have to check it out, see exactly who's missing and who's back. But anyway, look, I'm sure we'll know all that stuff closer to the
Ray's
game.
in
But
the chat, welcome.
Ray, how we doing? Yeah, listen, it sounds crazy, Ray, doesn't it? But this is the reality. Like, this is a huge 6-pointer against Leicester next Sunday. We beat them. We are in 100% in the race for top 3 if we beat them.
Oh yeah,
No question, because they're very, capable of dropping points as well. So, we're one of the most consistent teams in the league. We do not lose many games. We just don't. I don't know, what have we lost? 8 games or something?
Charlie.
Charlie boy. What's that? That's Charlie Walsh. How we doing? Um, so yeah, like what have we lost? 8 games or something all season, something crazy like that.
7 game, or excuse me, 8.
8, yeah. And when you consider we lost our first 2, we've lost 6 games
That
since.
was the last time that we've lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, it was the only time all season we've lost 2 games in a row. We've only lost 6 games since then. So, if you want to talk about consistency, that's incredible.
Barnes is
Um,
out. Okay.
yeah, Harry Barnes is out. I think is Verdi out. I don't know. But yeah, listen, this game Sunday, I can't wait. It's going to
I'm
be.
excited. So with Charlie Cat too, I'll talk. I was going to talk to you about it anyway, but I'll let you know now. I'm actually headed down to Athens this weekend as like a last little celebration. For those who don't know, somehow I am in grad school, and I graduate in or May 16th. So it's my kind of last like opportunity to have a little bit of fun before graduation. So I'm going to take it. That match is obviously 9 a.m. here. I would do a post-match show in Athens, but checkout time at the hotel I'll be in is at 11, so just timing doesn't work. So when I get back that night, it'll be a little bit of a later stream, but I will still be hosting post-match show on Sunday, hopefully being very positive. But how do you feel going into the match? Do you feel confident? Do you think before injury news comes out?
Yeah, of course I do. It's hard not to be right now. We're getting it done. All right, it's not always pretty. It would be nice to get a more rounded performance for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm seeing there in the chat, Verdi and Madison are okay to play and all this. I don't care. We went to their place with Verdi and Madison playing earlier in the season and thumped them 3-0. So I'm not scared of anyone. I'm just not. I don't care what their name is or where they are in the league. We're a match for anybody, and we've been proving it all season. So I'm not afraid of Leicester, and we're at home. Yes, they're a very good side, and I respect them. And they're capable of very, very good performances. And yes, we might lose to Leicester at home. Of course we might. They're in third place for a reason too. So, but I'm not scared of them. Can we go out Sunday and beat Leicester? Of course we can. No reason we can't. I mean, they're only 4 points ahead of us in the league. So we're very evenly matched, I think. And I think it will be a very close game. And I don't think there's going to be much in it. And, hopefully, by hook or by crook, we can get over the line. Maybe, you never know what's going to happen in a game like that. We might torture them on set pieces, score from 3 set pieces, and they might be all over the shop on those, and we beat them that way. You just never know what will happen. So yeah, I'm actually, I don't know if confidence the word, because they're a very good side, but I'm certainly very hopeful that we can get a win, and we're very capable of it, and certainly not afraid of them. And make no mistake, our players aren't afraid of them either.
Yeah. So I'm looking at some comments here. I'm confused as to why you think Lingard and Fornals are not fit enough. Lingard's just played 3 matches. That's why he's cramping up. He'll be fine. It was just a cramp. He'll be fine. Masuaku was first match back in a while, so it makes sense.
Yeah, Fornals has been injured as well. But no, listen, you have to understand, like, when you're talking about the likes of Lingard and Fornals, you're talking about some of the most hard-working, hard-running players in the league. They just never stop. Go and look at the stats for tonight's game, and look at the likes of Lingard and Fornals, the running they were doing. I mean, they run themselves to a standstill for the team. You saw Lingard cramping up. So I don't care.
That happens. That happens.
I mean, I'd rather see that than players swanning around, barely breaking a sweat. I mean, I don't think it's a fitness issue or a stamina issue. They just work so hard. They never stop running. So if they need to be replaced later in the game, so be it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
and
Socek and Sofal are kind of players who can do that and go the 90 minutes. That some players just have natural kind of huge engines and can just keep going and going and going. Other players are not like that. Other players, the likes of Fornals and Lingard, will tire eventually. Um, but I'd rather see them come off because they've absolutely spent themselves for 75 minutes, than to spare themselves when they're on the pitch. So it's not something I worry about.
we'll get into that at some point, some other time. I'm actually going to the draft this year because it's in Cleveland.
Oh, nice. Geez, we'll get on to the draft. We're probably going to take a QB. One of them is likely to fall into our lap. I think. I suspect Justin Fields will fall to us, but we'll see. Um,
To answer your question quick, I think that it's going to be a running back. I think we're going to get an Najee Harris.
yeah. Okay. If you want a prediction, seeing as you're asking about the draft, I think because of the Sam Darnold move, um, Carolina was it? I think that means that they're not going to go QB in the draft. It would make sense that they're not now. So I think Justin Fields will fall to us at 9, and I think we'll take him.
Get you merch from the draft. I don't know if there is any merch, and if there is, it's probably going to be like $300 for a T-shirt. The
Yeah,
NFL.
that's it. But anyway, that's my answer, Justin Fields. But let's derail this, isn't it? Full talking about bloody draft. Maybe we'll just do just for you, Fo. Maybe me and Chris will do a live stream of the draft. How's that?
That'd
Uh,
be fun. That'd actually be fun to do.
yeah, that would. But yeah, I mean, I just thought tonight, we just have to be careful, though, Chris, because we did see that drop off in the second half. 3-0 leads don't suit us, apparently.
Yeah.
Uh,
Someone had said
you
that
know,
earlier. They said, "What is it with us with West Ham and having a 3-0 lead and just not being able to defend anymore?"
yeah, it's crazy. That's why I can't wait for Bonner to get back. He just steadies everything back there.
I
And
think that that's the key with those kind of things. I think we just need that rock. We need that leader in the back. Like you've been saying. I think Diop Diop is too inconsistent. And so Dawson has to overextend at times, and I think that's why some people think at times he's not as good as he is because he's having to basically play two positions at once to help cover for Diop.
yeah, Diop gets out of position far too often. Yeah, and I did see a couple of times, particularly in that first half, where Dawson was digging him out for his positioning. Um, so yeah, I don't think Dawson particularly trusts Diop, and that's not a good situation.
Yeah,
Um,
and so with me, I agree with you that Balbuena. I'd like to see Balbuena start. I think that he'd be a little bit more solid than Diop.
yeah,
Um,
I think so too. I think if Oggy's not good to go against Leicester, I'd really like to see Dawson and Balbuena together in there for that game.
yeah,
Um,
but I could at the same time though I could see them keeping Diop just because they have that rapport, a little bit more rapport. They have more time on the pitch together, so I could see that. But I would obviously, in an ideal world, Ogbonna would be good to go.
yeah, he might be if he's back in full training. He might be fit enough. A centre back, fitness wise, it's not the same as players further out the field. They do get more breathers. So yeah, he might be good to go. So I just don't trust Diop, to be honest. I really don't. Um,
Next match, do you go flat back four or do you go back five again?
uh, it's not something I've really thought about too much yet because obviously my entire focus was on this game. Um, it's something I'm going to have to think about. I'm going to have to take a kind of a closer look at Leicester formation wise and what they do. I think, yeah, I think given that Rice obviously is still going to be out, I don't know if Antonio's going to be able to start or not, but I'd be tempted to because Masuaku looked so good, tonight before he went off. I think we should probably stick to the wingback system
I mean,
against Leicester. They've got some really clever players in the middle of the field, and I don't want them to be able to play between the lines. I think that would be incredibly dangerous. So I think even though we're at home, I think I would stick with the wingback system against Leicester at home. I have to say.
yeah, and I agree with that. I agree.
And like we scored 3 goals tonight playing with it. So and when we did have to defend in the second half, when things were getting kind of a bit hairy there, it does afford us that extra protection and it makes it easier to kind of hold on to a lead. So it makes us a bit more solid. So probably stick with the wing back formation against at home to Leicester, to be honest.
Would you make any besides obviously Balbuena for Diop in your opinion, or if Falcon would you make any other subs or changes?
To tonight's team, obviously, if we're talking about was the Arrington forced, obviously we might have to make a change because of Antonio. But let's just say, for argument's sake, Antonio's fit tonight was precautionary and he can start against Leicester. I wouldn't play Noble again. 2 games in 6 days. I wouldn't trust him to do that. I would drop Fornells back in there.
Okay.
I would drop Fornells back to where Noble was, and I would start Benrahma.
Start Benrahma?
Benrahma. Essentially, I'm Benrahma for Noble, but not playing Benrahma where Noble was, obviously. Just to clarify. But I'd drop Fornells back.
Yeah.
And having Benrahma, the likes of Benrahma and Lingard and Bowen on there and stuff, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely would have a more attacking sense to it.
It would give Leicester's midfield, shall we say, plenty to think about not overcommitting forward. They'd be looking around going, okay, Jesus, we've got Lingard and Benrahma, Bowen hovering around here. We don't want to be overcommitting too much getting forward, and of course that'll help us as well. So, and it means we carry a massive goal threat. So, I'd probably do something like that.
Well, I'm excited for Sunday. That's all I can really put it up to. I think today was a great win. Good to be back. Good to be back from international break, and especially on the back of a win. It sucks having Rice out, obviously, but keep plugging away. Before we go here, would you like to say anything else?
Yeah, one honourable mention tonight for Antonio before he went off. I thought he was absolutely sensational. He was just bullying the Wolves defenders, just bullying them, and his footwork for some reason was really good. I mean, his technical ability looked way better tonight for some reason. And he did some great stuff, and he was so unlucky not to score. Rui Patricio made an absolutely brilliant save and fingertipped the ball onto the post for an early shot from Antonio. I thought he looked absolutely brilliant, and I really, really hope and pray that he's okay and that we're going to have him for these remaining 8 games. If Antonio is fit for the last 8 games of the season, that'll be huge for us. So I really hope he can start. But I thought he looked absolutely brilliant before he went off.
Yeah, I agree. Well, listen, mate, thank you again for joining me as always. It's good to have you back. I'm not trying to be mean to Kate or anything. I love having her on, but it's good to have you back. Thank you for everyone joining us in the chat. We will be back here Sunday. Like I said, it'll be a bit of a later stream. It won't be immediately following the match. Probably around. I'm actually not going to put a time on it yet because I'm not entirely sure yet. But we move on. 4th place. Leicester up next. Massive game. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us. And until next time, come on, you Irons.